Hey everyone, Justin Russell with RussellMarineProducts.com. We're down in beautiful Florida out on a river freshwater fishing, and we've got the brand new PowerPole Move ZR trolling motor. All right guys, so I'm joined here with Robert from PowerPole, Vice President of PowerPole, and we're gonna go over some of the key features, some of the stuff on the new PowerPole Move ZR trolling motor.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Our team has worked extremely hard to produce the most reliable trolling motor on the market. And a couple of the features that we built in to ensure that reliability, we can start right off with the titanium shaft. It's impervious to the elements. It's super lightweight, super durable. It's the best possible material we could use. And the great thing about that is where other shafts may shatter or allow water when you have a heavy impact. The titanium, it will bend, but it won't break. And it'll keep you out on the water so you can finish that day of fishing, whether it's a tournament or maybe you just planned a weekend with your family, but you're gonna be able to stay out and fish and not have to come in. Another great feature that makes the durability is the power and the performance of what we call the Power Unity system. We designed the propulsion, the propeller, the drivers all in-house, and frankly that's our President John's expertise. He can really fine-tune those algorithms to create that super efficient, super smooth, super quiet. You know, it's as you've stated earlier, you know, the quietness is the first thing that everybody notices.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's on right now, and you can't even
It's on right now, you can't even tell exactly.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I kind of noticed getting on, so before we were in the PV, right? So we were in the pivot trolling motor, we were out on the ocean or out in the bay. And when I jumped on here, I noticed immediately we've got two buttons that are very similar to like the PowerPole big stomp buttons, but these are for the trolling motor. So can you explain what some of the logic was and some of the reason why we don't have those on the trolling motor pedal, but we've got them to where they can be moved literally anywhere on your boat? I mean, you could have them mounted in the back or in the cockpit area and stuff like that if necessary, but what was some of your reasoning behind that?
Well, that's one of the key reasons right there. You can mount them anywhere you want. They're completely wireless. Of course, our whole system works with our Sea Monster protocol. And one of the things that we noticed was having that foot pedal nice and clean, so you're not accidentally going to hit your anchor or your navigation modes, and when you want to, it's clearly right where you want it. Like you said, if you want to add a second button somewhere else, you can, and that makes it very, very easy and convenient to get into the mode that you want when you want, but not when you don't want to.
Right.
Another key thing about that is with the foot pedal itself, when you engage the momentary button, it will take you out of any of those modes so you can fully take over and take control. But when you're in a navigation, compass heading, vector heading mode, you can actually use the foot pedal to make slight adjustments to that course without actually, and it'll adopt that new course and keep you on it. So it's nice to be able to have that micro adjustments with the foot pedal, even when you're in a course heading.
And we're a wireless foot pedal system, so connectivity-wise, wireless. Obviously, it's got a power cord and stuff. But one of the things I noticed right away is especially when you put your foot on, it's really comfortable. You're moving it; it feels like a cable-driven trolling motor system, and obviously, it's not. So we've got a cleaner installation look where the power wires come out of the back of it. And one of the things we talked about before too, the head is significantly smaller than some of the other stuff. So we're a lot lighter. You guys are like, what is it, 17, 20 pounds, roughly somewhere in there, lighter than what like a competitor trolling motor would be, which, for our bass guys, we knew when we put on a a Ultrex or a Garmin Force or a Lowrance Ghost, like we knew it was significantly heavier, and we've got all that weight on the front of the boat. Well, now we've got guys adding 3 units on the bow of the boat, plus all that extra weight. We're losing a lot of speed. So now with that trolling motor being significantly lighter than some of the other ones out there on the market, we're maybe not necessarily gaining the speed back, but if we've got 3 units on the bow, we're kind of at a wash at that point, right?
Right.
And one of the other things is too, you've got an HDI transducer option on here as well too. Comes in 45, 52, and 60-inch trolling motor shaft lengths for the ZR series. So the walleye guys, the offshore guys, the guys that fish some rougher waters, if they want that, have all that configuration. And of course that HDI transducer plugs and plays with Lowrance and Simrad units as well too, correct?
That's right, that's correct, yes.
Now, obviously the thing for the past couple years, up to 3 years ago now, is brushless, right?
Yeah.
But why is this one here so much quieter than some of the other ones that I've been on and used in the past? What was the difference at what you guys, especially the steering functionality, right? We've kind of become accustomed to some of those trolling motors having that rant, rant, rant steering sound.
Yeah.
I mean, it's silent here. What's the difference of how that came to light?
Yeah, so that's again a factor of wanting to produce the best possible trolling motor we can in terms of durability, and again, that power, efficiency, and quietness all comes from a really well designed brushless stepper motor and a planetary gear system. That's what gives you all that torque when you're fighting those weeds and you're in that cover. It also provides additional redundancies. So a lot of systems are built with a single gear connection where if something goes out, you're all done. Again, if you do get into something and you do break a few teeth, we've got multiple gears as backups, and you could lose all but one of those, and there's several, and still stay up and turning on the water. So that is one of the reasons why it's so quiet, and so powerful. Is the design of the head and the steering motor itself.
And I noticed the display. You've got, again, a wireless display.
Yep.
It just connects to power, connects to 12, 24, or 36 volt power is my understanding. And again, some similarly to like the foot pedal buttons, you can mount that thing anywhere. So, you know, other side of the boat, mounted on the floor, if you want, if you will, or on the top cap there. What was some of the reasoning by having a display that was kind of movable or put it anywhere versus on the head of the trolling motor or on the actual mounting bracket itself? What was some of the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, again, flexibility, just like you said. You can mount it anywhere you want. You can hook it to 12, 24, or 36. So again, it gives you flexibility. We make our products so that they work in fresh and salt water. So a lot of the saltwater boats will have a tower or a second station, so that allows for adding a second display in some cases. Obviously, for most bass guys, they like it right up front where your office is.
Yeah.
But that again is just going to build in flexibility. It also has some cool features. It does correspond to the head lights, so it'll let you know when the propeller is on, as well as the light on the head. It's green when you're in forward. Each of these units comes with the real feel foot pedal. You mentioned that earlier, how it feels like you're attached to a cable. That's why we call it the real feel foot pedal. But it also is adjustable through the app. But again, back to the display, the lights for each of our modes, whether it's compass heading, anchor mode, or the prop on in forward or reverse, corresponds to the lights on the head. And then the very top one is the GPS signal, which is that dark blue. Then the display number itself will tell you how fast you're going, and you can adjust that obviously with the dial on the foot pedal or on the remote. And I did want to add that even though this is the foot pedal edition with the ZR, it also comes with a remote.
Well, one of the things I really appreciate about the remote, you've got one remote that has total boat control. So even if you don't have powerful shallow water anchors, when you buy a Move trolling motor, the remote that comes with it is the remote that can control your shallow water anchors as well too. So you don't have this, well, it comes with this remote, but if you wanted to add your power pole anchors on the back of the boat, you need to get a different remote for total control. It comes with that. Like, I like the aspect that you can build off of what you already have, if that makes sense. So controllability, I know, is a very, very important thing for you guys there, and that just adds to it. Another thing that was pretty interesting that I didn't realize before, when you steer using the remote, your foot pedal is also moving as well too. So you don't have, on some of the other ones, you go to jump up on the trolling motor foot pedal, and it's almost like there's a reset where it's got to kind of recalibrate itself to pick back up. You don't have that here. So whether it's the remote or the foot pedal, it's constantly moving like a real, cable-driven trolling motor.
That's right.
So that was really a smart move there. I really like that. One of the last things to kind of discuss with this is going through the slop. We're here in Florida, vegetation, obviously everywhere, right? So we've been in lily pads today, we've been in grass, we've been in kind of this gator grass, if you will. What do you call this kind of grass here?
Well, that's got duckweed and some other gator grass, a lot of stuff mixed in there.
And we went plowing through a bunch of it earlier when I was frog fishing, and I noticed immediately I didn't ever encounter like steering torque where I felt like it can't turn, it can't go. One of the things that we were able to do with Dan when we were out on the flats, he had me grab that trolling motor shaft, and he moved that trolling motor head around, and I couldn't stop it from going. The torque is just unreal. Robert, one of the first things I noticed this morning, we were, having some fun fishing this morning, caught a good one, by the way, but one of the things I noticed was just going through the salad, chopping the stuff down. In the past, on some other trolling motors, I've had to really just, I call it kicking it. You just kick the thing up as high as you can, stomp on that gas pedal to mow down through the stuff, to get through the slop, through the salad, whatever you want to call it, grass, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that with this trolling motor. What was that? How did you guys design to not have to increase, the thrust to go to power 10 or 100 to go all the way through there, right? How did you guys engineer that to be able to do that? What's the difference there?
Yeah, so that's our power unity system. And part of the magic of that is that we're able to turn the prop at a lower RPM, and that allows for less turbulence in the water. I mean, we can use a higher pitch prop, lower RPM, and create less turbulence. You can get through that stuff when spin the prop slower. Those other ones, you have to crank it up. That's where you get into those issues that you talked about. They have to
crank them up to get the torque, where you guys don't have to turn your trolling motor all the way up to get the torque to be able to go through the slop.
Exactly.
No, it's the other thing I noticed about that is, because of that, we're moving so much more quieter through the area. So fishability wise, I mean, I literally got bit a foot away from the trolling motor earlier. Yeah. And normally down here in Florida, everyone kind of knows, and I really learned being out on the boat with Dan, like, you have to make really, really long casts. Like, we knew that those Florida fish are spooky. I mean, everything down here is eating them, right? Like gators, snakes, birds, us fishermen are going after them. Yeah. So that unity system that you talk about, and that stealthiness and the quiet, for sure, it's something to truly experience with that trolling motor. So amazing that you guys were able to do that. That's awesome.
Another thing that we didn't really talk about either is, you'll notice the cabling, the power cable that's going up to that head, and the cables that we'll use to deliver the power. This is super thick wire. You're getting all of that power delivered to the motor. So that's another reason why we can deliver that power.
Well, one of the things that we had discussed before is, you guys talk about true thrust for your trolling motor. So in the 36 volt setup here, which, since we're brushless, we can run 24 or 36 volt on this, but on that 36 volt especially, we're 100 pounds of true thrust. What do you guys mean when you say true thrust?
That is a great question. So true thrust is a repeatable measure that we can consistently get when we measure the pull test of our trolling motor. And 100 pounds is about right where we're at when you measure it in that true thrust scale.
Okay.
That is about 30% more than the next leading trolling motor brand on the market, to give you some sort of comparison.
Awesome. All right, guys, this is some information here on the brand new PowerPole Move trolling motor. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We got more videos coming your way.
Are you tired of your old marine electronics? At RMP, we make trade-in easy. 3 steps. Step 1, shoot us an email, get a quote. Step 2, send us your old unit and get credit. Step 3, get your brand new unit and get it installed on your boat today.